A fluke or soft jerkbait style soft plastic bait is undoubtedly one of the greatest bass lures of all time. But a lot of guys say they keep missing fish on the fluke and they can't hook into bass at a high percentage. It's a bit notorious for missing a lot of fish, and it's no really fault of the bait, it's more usually a fault of the angler. And there's two main reasons you're going to be missing bass on a fluke. The first one is going to be you're using a way too small of a hook. I recommend nothing smaller than a 4/0 hook. This is a 4/0 EWG style hook, but the offset also works great if you're more of an offset guy. Even Fluke Master himself mostly uses the offset. I believe he says he runs the EWG if he's in a kayak where he's sitting down and can't set the hook quite as good. But anytime he's standing in a boat or the bank, I believe he says he uses an offset 4/0 hook. And I usually run the offset as well, to be honest. These here are EWG, but I'm more of an offset when I can get away with it kind of guy. But the 4/0 is kind of the smallest you want to go. Some guys will even go up to a 5. I generally don't. I'm kind of leaning on the side of small when I can, the smallest I can get away with. But really a 4 is the smallest you want to go. Anything smaller than that, and you're just not going to be able to get enough hook gap when that bass bites, and you're going to miss a lot of the fish. Because the flukes, they have a pretty tall body. Even with that slit in them, if you're using a small hook, it's really hard to get a hook through there all the way up and get good hook gap and a good hook penetration. Now, the second reason you're missing fish, this one actually really isn't the fault of the angler, more of how bass tend to eat a fluke. Bass usually eat a fluke head first. That's how they prefer to eat bait fish, just because it slides down easier. The pectoral fins and whatnot don't stab them as they're going back. It just slides down the throat a lot easier. But, let me rig this up real quick. Because they're eating it front way first, your hook is pointing backwards when they eat it. Let me show you what I mean. If this is a bass's mouth and they eat it front first, when you set the hook, that point is pointing that way. It's pointing the wrong way. So what happens is when you set the hook, you first need to spin it around in the bass's mouth and then pull it forward to be able to get any hook penetration. But sometimes, in the time that you're spinning the bait around on your hook set, they either let go of it or it just pulls it too far forward and out, and you end up missing those fish. It's not really your fault, it's just bass often eat head first, and you're going to miss a lot of fish for that reason. So, if you're noticing that you're missing a lot of fish and you're using a 4 or 5/0 hook, you're confident your hook is big enough, I recommend going to a little octopus hook like this one and trying out nose rigging that fluke, either with a screw lock or I normally just run it no screw lock. You literally just take it and nose hook it through the front of that fluke. This is a real stretchy one. And it looks a little bit weird at first, but when a bass bites it, even if he bites it head first, that hook is already exposed. That hook twists really easily. It's pretty much free swinging in there. And you get a really high hookup percentage with these little small octopus hooks nose rigged on that fluke, rather than the big EWG or offset needing to spin all the way around, and it's more cumbersome kind of, and if you need to rotate that bait, the octopus hook is going to work much, much better. Another great thing about using the nose hook style is you can actually fish it on spinning gear. Normally you have to fish a fluke on casting gear to get enough power into that hook set, but with a little octopus hook like this, you can fish it on spinning gear, really downsize that line. It can be great in clear water if bass are a little finicky. You can run all the way down to like a 8-pound fluoro leader and spinning gear, light tackle. And it's a real sharp, real small hook. You don't need much power at all to set a good hook. And you pretty much hook into every bass that eats this. So if you've been missing a lot of bass on your flukes, chances are either your hook is way too small or it's not your fault, but the bass are eating it head first and it makes it difficult to set that hook. So first of all, I recommend trying upsizing to a 4/0 or greater. If you've already done that and you're still having the issue, try switching it up to a nose hooked fluke like this one. Maybe downsize your line and your gear, and you should get a really good hookup percentage going forward.